This is factoring trinomials, three terms, with a not equal to 1. So that means we have something new here, something a little different. And so we do it very similar to the way we did this one, where we're looking for two numbers that when multiplied give you the last, when added give you the middle, but we have a number in front. So the way we include it is we multiply them together. 6 times negative 30 is negative 180. Alright, and then we're looking at the middle number again. So what same two numbers when multiplied give you 11? So we need two numbers that when multiplied equal the product of these two, and when added give us the middle. It's a massive number, negative 180, which is why I picked it. This is not quick. Alright, this is a technique. So we take the negative 180 and you break it up. What factors? So we have 1 and 180, but it has to be negative. Alright, and those definitely do not add up to 11. So how about 3 and 60? Still not. They need to be closer. So how about 18 and 10? That's 8. What else? 20 and 9. And we need a negative 11. So right there, negative 20 and 9. And that would give us negative 11. So there it is. Negative 20 and 9. So you can't just say, oh, x minus 20x plus 9 anymore. It's x minus 20x and x plus 9x. We're taking the 11x and breaking it into two terms. And then now we have four terms. So we can go back and do factoring like we did with four terms. You can use GCF or box method. Now I prefer box method, but I'm going to do both. So we take our four terms, put it in the box, and factor. So the top is 2x, that's a 3, that's a 3x, and that's a minus 10. And check it. There it is. So 2x plus 3 and 3x minus 10. Okay. Or you can use factor by grouping. And then we have a 2x, so that's 3x minus 10. And then these have a 3, so it's 3x minus 10, and there it is. Now these are your standard methods, but there is one that's called a trick method. And I can't really put that on here, so what I'm going to do is show you it in the little space we have here. Okay, so we're going to put trick. Alright, so the two numbers we found were 20 and 9. So you go x minus 20 and x plus 9. Now we also had that number in front, which was 6, and there's no 6 here, so we know this is definitely not the answer. But what we do is we put a 6 underneath here and a 6 underneath here. And we reduce our fractions. So that would be 10/3. And that would be 3/2. Alright, but obviously there's no fraction. So what you do is you take that little denominator, put it there, that denominator, put it there. And we get 3x minus 10 and 2x plus 3. You notice it's the same answer. If you use the trick method though, you do have to multiply it back out to double check everything. When we're doing this, we're literally doing the multiplication. So, what's happening here on this method, if you look at it, is in order to get a trinomial that we start with here, you have to start with a binomial, right? So with factoring, we're going in reverse. So we're starting at the beginning and trying to find out what was the end. We're starting with the end, trying to find out what we began with. So if you were to multiply a trinomial, it would create four terms. There they are, which you would then add to the middle. So when we do factoring of this, what we're trying to do is find out what were the two numbers that were added to make the middle. And then we can multiply it in reverse. We can factor it. So that's our technique. You find two numbers that when multiplied give you the outer numbers, when added give you the middle. By finding factors, they'll tell us what they are. You break it into four terms and then use box method or grouping. Or you can use the trick method. Your choice. Let's try another. And then I got Look at this, a whole page of problems for you. Isn't this fun? All right, so we take the other two numbers and multiply them. 3 times 5, that's 15. And what are our factors? Well, obviously 3 and 5. Hey, they make 8. So, remember the whole minus plus thing from before? Same rules still apply. So the same rules we had with the trinomials, right there, are the same rules we will get here. Okay. So, we now separate it. Throw it in the box. You can use grouping, or you can use the trig method, but I'm going to stick with the box method. And factor. So they have a 3x. They have a 5. There's an x. And a 1 because they have nothing in common. Remember the minus minus and the plus? That means it's minus minus. And if we check it, there it is. Okay, let's do one more. So 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. And factors, well, we'll start with the 2 and 6 again. Make that one negative. Yeah, that's definitely not 1, so we cross that off. 1 and 12, that's a no. 3 and 4, there it is. So we have 2x squared plus 3x minus 4x minus 6. Place it in the box. And they have an x in common, a minus 2, a 2x, and a 3. And we check it. And there it is. Alright, so here are a bunch of problems for you to try, and please do try them. They will take a while, probably about 10-15 minutes or more. This last one is special. See if you can figure it out as well. There's a hint right there. Alright, so give them a shot. Hit pause now. Alright, and these are the answers. That you should have received. So on the last one, they had a common factor. So if you factor it out, it then allows you to factor it. If you had factored it normally, box method would have failed. Or if you'd factored using grouping, then there would have been one at the very end that you'd have to factor out.